Hey folks, welcome back to Hellendale Hotrods. It's a stormy March day outside. I'm gonna take a little break on the Tank 38 and I'm gonna get back to the Roadster Revival. Today I am going to do a little quarter panel right here. So the quarter panel is not the worst one I've ever seen, but it's not the best. When I was fitting it to the 32 frame, I was monkeying around with this area and I cut it out, and well, I knew I was replacing it in the future. So this end is always a little bit difficult to get at or to reproduce. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'm probably gonna do, you know, kind of this general shape and on. I'll probably try and preserve that little hole. It's for the chrome strip that goes around there. I don't know if I'll put it on or not, but might be nice to leave it. But all in all, it seems pretty solid here, so I'm probably gonna go up to about here. I'll check and see what's good, what's not. So first I'm gonna make a little paper pattern and we'll go from there. Okay, I got my trusty magnets, piece of paper. I got a couple of marks here. We're gonna be taking it out. The bottom's pretty crooked, so I'm gonna try and follow the bead line here. And then I'll use the old dirty finger technique. Works like a dream. All right. I got little black marker marks. Sharpie markers. All right. So, not hard to find dirty fingers in my shop. That sounded so wrong on so many different levels. It's not a super difficult patch to make, but this bead here is, well, the paper's over top of it now, but the bead that's down here actually is kind of like rolled. So it's a little bit difficult to get to. Or achieve, I should say. All right. Straight as a crooked arrow. Perfect. I made one for the other side quite some time ago. I just wanted to make another one because if I gotta do one, I want to do them both, you know? Get them done, get it out of the way. Go into business making patch panels. Doubt it. Seems to be the end of it there. Yeah. This edge is pretty ratched. I actually pulled this cowl out on either side to fit the 32 frame. Most guys pinch the frame, but I had already put the frame together. I didn't want to pull it all apart, so. Okay, got the piece of sheet metal cut up. It's 18 gauge, that's plenty thick for this. It's a little bit more malleable when it's thinner, obviously. So I have, this is outside. I label it, bead up. That's this lower bead here, it's kind of rounded. And this is your 90 where it goes underneath. And obviously the same in this front section. I'm replacing the missing part right here, as you can see. And then I always will label it on the back. Otherwise you're running back and forth. So I have pre-stretched this with flat dies on the English wheel. What this does is it prevents warping. Nothing worse than trying to manipulate it after the fact. I'll meet you over at the bead roller. Okay, like I said, skateboard wheel from the dollar store on the bottom, homemade tipping wheel on the top. I did buy a kit and it came with the urethane wheel, but it's really, really hard. And the tipping wheel, I don't really like it. I think I actually gotta maybe smooth it down a little bit. Anyways, we're just gonna do this first little kind of trench or whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, already. It's a slow process, but it's pretty rewarding making your own stuff. And I'm applying a little bit of pressure on this side. With this 18 gauge, it's super easy to manipulate. I'm going to give her a little bit more pressure. Get all fancy and go backwards. I'm applying a little more pressure on my left hand. This just gives you that little, gives me a whoops. It's okay, fixable. When you're this early into a bead, little whoopses don't really matter. It's coming along. You see how it's just rounded there a little bit. So obviously it's got to come out a little more. I haven't really figured out that part yet. Okay, so I moved the skateboard wheel over a little bit, and I'm just going to continue to run pressure on this side. It's not going to flatten out this area, but it's I'm still achieving my my roundness on this part. Super duper important. Oh, that's working a lot better now. All right, way better. I'm just gonna go over to the English wheel and just put it between the flat dies and get rid of this little bit of roundness here. Right back. Okay, I've got it looking pretty good here. I got the top thingy thing, whatever you wanna call it. So right now I wanna get this a little bit more of a crown right here, and then I'll do this step, this step right here at the front of the cowl. And the last thing, like I said, I'll do is the 90. So I have another homemade die and the skateboard wheel. I use this a lot for Model A stuff. It just seems to work pretty good. So I'm just, like I say, I'm trying to get a little more of a crown. It's not ideal, but it's all I have. So at this point, I'm just kind of lifting up. I don't want to put too much pressure on it, or it just looks, I'll get kind of a line in the top of the crown there. So the bottom of Model A's has this 1 inch, it's about 1 inch and maybe a quarter bead it's kind of difficult to do. There is dies out there you can buy, but I'm the cheap guy. All right, so you can, oh, where are we? Where the heck are we? All right, there it is. See, nice and round right there. All right, it's coming. I'm gonna do a little bit more on that, a little more pressure. Okay, I forgot to turn the camera on. I did a little bit of the step already on the front of the cowl section, but just gonna make it a little bit more. Away we go. Should just about do it. Got a pretty decent step there now. Starting to look something. Starting to look like something. We're not too sure what. I don't know if you can see, but this part's tilting down a little bit. So I'm just going to run it through the English wheel and just kind of lift up on it a little bit. All right, that's not bad. It's actually kind of lifted up a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go over to the Model A and see if it fits okay. All right, it's coming along. Whoop. It's obviously, trying to one-hand it here. It's going to be a little better once I get this bottom 90 and should fit a little better. So I'm feeling I got a little bit too much crown on this sucker. I looked at the Model A and it's a little bit flatter here. So what I have done is I have this homemade die that's just a little bit flatter than the previous one. You can see the little bit difference in radius on the top. So I'm gonna run it through really lightly here just to flatten that sucker out. Okie dokie, I got the skateboard wheel on the bottom and the tipping wheel on the top. I'm just gonna do that 90. So we're gonna just, whoop, we're gonna go the wrong way is what we're gonna do. All right, so just tipping it slightly, tipping the tipping wheel slightly. I also trimmed a little bit off the bottom. I had about an inch for the 90 and I cut it down. I took about a quarter inch off. Right. I'm just going to increase the pressure a little bit. This is giving me a little bit of a softer 90, if you will. Well, Toot stopped in the shop to provide a little cuteness for the afternoon. Well, I'm quite pleased with the fitment of the patch panel here. It's going pretty good. There's a little bit of weld slag here I had to grind off to get it to lay a little flatter, but that's neither here nor there. So the steel is still pretty flat. And as you know, the Model A cowl has a little bit of an arc to it. So I'm going to take the old shrinker and we're going to shrink the edge and give this guy a little bit of an arc. It's not much, very little actually. Just give a little tweak. Not bad, not bad. Laying pretty flat. A little more on the end here. Don't want to go too much. Nice thing is you can, if you shrink too much, you can stretch it, right? And bring it back. Well, that's coming along. Not too bad at all. All right. Just hang tight. This is kind of not quite a 90 under here, and it's not fitting as good as we would like. Got about a foot of snow yesterday. We sure needed it. I'm gonna break down today and go buy a snowblower. I have a skid steer, but I can't shovel my walk, or I can't use the skid steer on the walk, so first world problems, right? Oh, she's close. Very, very close. As you can see, got a little bit of an arc there now. I think once I cut the other one out, I think it'll lay down a lot more flat. I certainly hope. Okay, thankfully I got that all cut out. It wasn't too bad. There was a couple of spot welds here I had to get rid of. I also came to a decision. I'm not going to run trim on this thing anyway, so I'm going to get rid of the little hole there, oval. I can keep it in this subframe area. Subframe it's pretty good in this area, except for the bottom is it's pretty pitted. You know, it's always a can of worms. So I'm probably just going to repair this quick off camera. Now it's starting to fit way better, as you can see. What I do when I do a patch panel it works really good for me, you guys. So what I do is I cut I cut the hole a little bit smaller, just so I can kind of get a little better fitment, you know, just kind of baby steps, right? And I was gonna run a string line along the bottom, but I've done this before with doors, is I have a line here. When the old piece was still intact, I measured and I wrote down the number there, 9 inches from this line to the bead, okay? Here and here. So I just gotta find that little happy spot, and then I can go from there. It's gotta go down just a hair. And once that's there, I can throw some sheet metal screws in, and then I run my, my thin disc along here, and that's my weld line. I still gotta put some holes for some spot welds here, but I mean, it's starting to lay a lot more flat. I think it looks pretty good. It looks good on camera, probably. Better on camera than real life, but anyways, I'm going to, like I say, repair this area right away off camera. I'll get that done, and then we'll come back to it. Might even just, it looks like it's just it's a piece welded onto this piece, if you can imagine that. We'll see. Not sure how I'm going to proceed with that one, but it's not, it's an important piece, but it's not important to look at, right? Yeah, so then I'll clean it all up, and I'll throw some weld through primer on there, and yeah, it'll be lickety split, guys. All right, stay tuned. Well, I can get back to business now. I've fabricated this little lower inner structure without any hiccups, finally. So I'll just show you the old one. Had quite a few spot welds in there. The bottom portion was all gone. Anyways, I'm just gonna paint her up, and we're gonna get that quarter panel in there, patchy. So here's my process. I have the patch panel tacked in, as you can see, on a couple of corners. Pardon me. And I got a clamp on here fairly loose, just so I don't want to bend the bead there. So what I do now is I'm gonna come along here with my thin blade. I don't have it in arm's reach, but I will just make my slice using this edge as my guide. And what happens is I will then take my cut my tacks off, and then I will fit it a little more, and it should fit pretty good, actually. It's going really good so far. Looks like it was meant to be. Okay, let me get back a little further. Okay, now it looks really good. All right, anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna just get things set up, and we'll start cutting. I'm just getting ready to weld the panel in, or tack it anyways. I got my little panel clamps on there. It's feeling pretty flush everywhere. There's a little place I gotta lift it right here. Gonna take a measurement. I got 9 inches. 9 inches. I got 9 inches. Clearly, I'm making the wrong type of videos, right? Anyways, enough of my silly jokes. Beauty, a little tack. Now, I gotta push it up from underneath a little bit. Good. Good, good. So far, so good. Right on. I'm a happy guy. Boy, I'd like to push that up just a little bit. The flame was the end of my screwdriver, by the way. If that doesn't mess up a weld, I don't know what will. My thick head in the way. Right on. All right, I'm gonna put these spot welds in now. We'll lock it in. Give her a little more poop. Remember to move around a lot so you don't get too much heat in one place. You'll warp that panel. They usually go in and it sucks. I mean, on this I can access the back and hammer weld it out, but I don't know. I'm always testing myself to try and get the perfect straight panel. I'm no master at it, but at this point I can pull those little clamps off. Works pretty good. Beats trying to get the big clamps in there. I'm extremely happy with the bead area here. I am. A couple more tacks. I'm on wheels. Once you get a little tack on there, you can stack another one on top of it, make it a little stronger. That's always nice. Well, that's it for the welding. I've got a tiny bit of grinding left to smooth it down, especially right in here. I like to scuff it up before I do any the body work, the filler, primer, just so the paint and or filler will adhere to it. And then we clean her up. Not too shabby. have it. Big changes. All right, still got the other side to do. Like I said, I did make a panel for the other side, but I'm not super happy with it. So I didn't get too much warping on this one. It kind of was a little bit of a wow right here, or maybe who knows? The thing's been kicked around the pasture forever. So anyways, we'll smooth all that sucker out. Anyways, you guys, thanks for watching Hellendale Hot Rods. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. It is free to subscribe, like, comment, whatever. I sure appreciate everybody that's subbed already and everybody watching. So cheers, and I don't know, stay warm, stay safe, stay whatever.